So this is more into chapter 6, again, highlights here. The GSC, the responsible, I highlighted this in bold. I think this is super important. From move in to running the show to tear down and move out. They handle all of that. They handle all of the exhibitor information. So there's people at Freeman who are selling, but then once they sell that booth space or that show, then it goes over to a services person. And that services person says, okay, Sarah, what are your needs? What are you going to be looking for to help your booth maximize your investment? What kinds of things do you need from us? Okay. They are also responsible for moving that freight in and out of the facility. When they show up, it is a solid concrete floor that's bare and empty. Okay. And then as they move in, they tape down the lines. They actually tape out the entire floor, show floor, with tape. And so then they'll roll out the carpet. They'll put carpet where there needs to be carpet. Not everybody gets carpet. Why? Because carpet's expensive. Okay. Some shows, they don't carpet the main aisles. It's just the concrete. And then if the vendor, the booth person wants to have carpet, then they'll rent the carpet for their area. I will tell you, walking on concrete and walking show floors on concrete is very hard on your feet. And so one of the ways to, it costs money, but one of the ways to make your show and elevate it and make it more enjoyable for your guests and your visitors and the attendees is to carpet those main aisles. And those main aisles, I think, are 10 or 20 feet, 10 or 20 feet wide. I don't think maybe they are 20 feet wide, to allow for people to come and go. But we'll see that. Then they drop everything. All the booths are numbered, right? They do the pipe and drape. They set up all the little white name badges that have the name of the company and the booth number. They had set up all of that, right? And then they put a table where people want a table and chairs if that's not already included. They do all that setup. They bring their stuff, the drayage, which we'll talk about in just a minute. They bring all that freight to the show floor. They put it in the booth. And at the end, they have to tear down and move out. And when they leave, it's a polished concrete floor. It's empty. There's no trash, there's no tape, there's nothing. They leave it exactly as they found it. It takes a lot of work. The tear down is always faster than the setup because the tear down people aren't really. I mean, you're being particular,
Motivated to leave.
you're motivated to leave. Okay, exactly.
It's into the shift.
So the drayage, that's what we were talking about as far as the freight. That cost of that drayage is based on weight. Okay. And so however much it costs in weight to send it, Freeman gets it. And then when the show is done, there is a prepaid or there is like a FedEx or UPS label that charges to the account of the person. Freeman doesn't pay that. It's charged to the account. They slap that label on there, and FedEx comes, picks up all the information, all the stuff. Okay. Um, so we have sales, people that are selling the booth spaces, the show floors. Okay. They put together that packet, and then the logistics of the people that actually handle it from the inside the warehouse and whatnot. You also have people that are there for event technology. So if there is any kind of AV needs that are needed, Freeman has people on staff to handle that. Um, you also have with Freeman, they don't have a floral, but they do have a printing. So when we get there, I mean, they printed all of these signs right here for us for our event. I talked to Tracy today because I had a meeting at a committee meeting over there at Freeman this morning, and we're gonna do like the 8.5 by 11 tabletops, sponsored by, instead of, we used to do like larger signs that say spot, and we put them on easels. Where now she said she's going to print them with the easels on the back. We won't have to purchase tabletop easels. So, things like that that help. They do that all that in-house. They don't have to pay somebody else to do that. So that's why Freeman's it's expensive, but it's like a one-stop shop. Um, one thing that's really important is that communication between the the people who are putting on the show and the people who are attending and the people who are exhibiting. So that's what I want to kind of focus on for the rest of class today in the last half an hour or so, 40 minutes. I want us to kind of each have our own little task that we're working on. So Yasmin, if you can kind of help draft some kind of like a template email that's asking about the sponsorship. And you have the one that I sent earlier to the ones from last year. So it has that Sign Up Genius link. We want to make sure we include that link in there so they can click on that. Um, Edward, I want to finalize today the rules and maybe try to put together some kind of like a participant sign up where we get the students' names. If potentially we can get the item that they are making, but if not, we can leave that blank for now and just get it later. The third thing I want to see, like, kind of build like a little bit of a toolkit, if we will, to see do they need electricity? And will they need, I feel like if we say, do you need electricity, and all 15 say yes, we won't have enough for all 15 to
What are your
tap into.
accommodations?
What do you mean by accommodations?
Like ask them what do they need to keep their food hot? What do you need a hot box? Do you need like ask them what they need. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna have to figure it out according to whatever appetizer. Not everybody's gonna need a hot box. Let's say their appetizer is a cold soup.
Okay, so maybe that's a good question.
knows
Where you want to
to
jot
bring
this
it?
down as a note? Maybe we're gonna ask them, is it a hot appetizer or a cold appetizer?
Ask them what they're wanting to
Uh,
bring.
So, so yeah, I would say if we could do hot and cold appetizers, because then maybe we could also be either strategic in where we place them. If it's a hot one, we can put them close to an outlet, whether they need it or not. And then, or if it's hot and cold, maybe we can put them strategically so people aren't, if they're going to go down the line, they're not going to eat just cold, 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 cold,
Right.
cold, hot.
Like, do you need ice? Do
We
you
can
need
change
plug-in?
it.
Do you need
Yeah.
like
I
ask
mean,
them what they need to hold their food.
fortunately, I mean, if it's hot or cold, we'll also know how much space to have in the walk-in cooler.
Right.
We have two ice machines, so I don't think ice is really a huge,
Well,
well, we have,
thing, but we're gonna have to accommodate them for it so that we have to give them information, have it available,
right,
etc.
right. Yeah. So, yeah, Edward, I think if we ask them if it's a hot or cold, we also might just have an option that says unknown because maybe they haven't even started planning that quite yet, which is fine. But that allows us to then later up follow up with them to say, okay, you listed unknown. We need to know by this date what is your hot or cold. Yes, what's your question?
Uh, just as a reminder, or at least I have it written down here. Uh, did you still want me to have a questionnaire about plates and silverware?
Yes. So we'll have something that says we will provide a 6-inch plastic plate and clear plastic forks. And we can have something that says, will you bring your own? Or will you use our clear plastic plates and forks? So just those two options, because that allows me to, I have stuff left over from last year. And then when I go to Sam's, I don't buy extra product. I can utilize what we have in inventory in here and use that up. So I would say those two options. Yes, I'd like to use your, or no, I will bring my own. Okay, good question. So we'll work on that. And then Sarah you'll work on the volunteer form. So we can start
It's
developing
my to-do list for today.
that. Awesome. Well, that's what we're gonna do in the last 30 minutes of class. We're just gonna work on.
We're just gonna work
That's
on
what-
it?
Yeah, we're just gonna work.
Okay.
My
Kind of
goal,
for my own separate
no,
homework
my
time.
goal is that when we're in class on Thursdays, like when we're actually in class, that we'll actually spend time
For 30 minutes to homework.
so that way I can kind of help you, guide you if you need that.
Also-
Samantha did say that she was going to send the marketing. So let me see if I